Hey guys, so I know literally months ago, I was like, give me all your England questions about the World Cup. I'll get a Q&A in. So this is it. I have only just got around to it. It's been pretty full on with the league and everything. So thank you for bearing with me. But I thought I can answer all your World Cup questions. And then in the Six Nations, I can answer all your Six Nations questions. So we're going to launch it now. The best ones I like the most or stand out the most are the most imaginative. There'll be 5 winners and there's 5 full England kits that I need to send out, which hopefully you'll get in the Six Nations so you can wear it or watch it in your new kit. So that's kind of cool. Firstly, apologies. I got really rosy cheeks. It was really sunny today and also a little bit windy, and I must have run really fast. I don't know. But basically my cheeks are a little bit red. Apologies for that. This is a good question and it had been asked a few times. Will my shirt become available again? I think that's the Feel the Burn shirt. That kind of ran out in terms of like, it was that the So London shop wanted to create the merchandise and it was really cool. It was super cool to be a part of that and design it. But that shop is now down because it was around for the summer of sport, for women's sport. However, I do have a few in stock. So if you guys want those, maybe I'll run another competition. We'll figure out a way to get the Feel the Burn shirts out to you. This is a really good one by Bex Appleby. Is there any banter or chat between opposing teams in the scrum? Yeah, there 100% is. There's some really funny things, mainly from the flanker, to be honest, although sometimes the nines are pretty bad and you always have to reply, mate, when was the last time you'd scrummaged? I can't share all the things. Maybe comment if you have anything that you would say in the scrum. A lot of the time it's just a load of rubbish, but it's just to get in other people's heads. I kind of think it's funny, but yeah, some people I don't think they enjoy it so much. This is a great question and there's loads of similar ones. What is the mental shift or habit that helped you perform at a World Cup winning level? And I would say every time I've been a part of England, we have a really high performance attitude. We're really ruthless in training. We train above the standards of a game, so the intensity of a game, it's very full on. A lot is expected of you. We drive each other and that's what drives us to be the best. I think for us, the shift that helped us was that self-fulfilling prophecy. And I don't know, maybe it was a mixture of definitely working really hard together and having that really strong bond together, but actually also having the mindset of this is our time. We are going to do it, not ifs or maybes, or we might win it, we might not, we might lose. It was actually, we're going to win it. We're going to do it. And everything we did was intentional and everything we said was, it's written in the stars. This is our time. This is our World Cup. We're going to do it. And it can be really close to teeter on the line of complacency and confidence. And I think for us, it was just changing our language, that making it more definite means that when we do our actions in training, that will allow us to do that. Like, we had to do it and we had to do it right. Obviously, rugby is a game of 50-50 and I've been in 2 other World Cups where actually on the day, the luck wasn't with us. We didn't perform the best that we could have performed, or the other team outperformed us and we lost the game. So it is very much down to performance on the day. And I think also the biggest thing for us was that we were doing it more than just ourselves. We were doing it for the women's rugby in England. We knew that it was going to be a sellout stadium. We knew that it was going to be big crowds. We knew that if we could do it and we got the win, that it would hopefully change a lot of perceptions about women's rugby and hopefully increase people getting involved, young girls, see someone different, see different body types. Like, we were doing it for so much more than just ourselves. And I think that really helps, especially in terms of being an athlete, is that it was our time to kind of put our hand up and say, hey, like, we're here and get on board with us because this is fun and you'll meet all these different personalities. And also, like, we're really good at our sport, so like, get involved with that. And Canada were an amazing side and they had been the whole tournament. They had the best stats for attack and a lot of different things. But I think just that extra belief that we were going to do it, we were going to do it together. And actually it was to kind of launch our sport into a different space. All of those things together, we were never going to not try our best. We were never going to give up. You know, as a squad, we really showed that, especially in the last game. It was always really tough. Like, Canada probably also had those thoughts and those feelings, and that's when it comes down to the day of the game, which is brutal, but that's sport. The amount of people at games, men, women, kids, have been like, oh, I saw this on social media and that really helped me with this, or I really used to struggle at that, but I watched you and all your teammates and the stuff that you said and now I have the confidence to try this. Or even people who were like, I never had rugby growing up, I'm not young, I'm past rugby now. They're either getting involved in other sports or feel the confidence to wear something that maybe never worn before. And I think that's the biggest difference. And something that's so special for me is that the World Cup gave us this amazing launch pad to be able to help so many people, and that's really what I want to do and to continue to do, is help young girls or all types of women. And I can only speak for women because I am one and that's my experience, but I want them to be confident, feel comfortable in their own skin. And I also want to try and kind of minimize these archaic views that women have to be a certain thing or they have to do certain stuff, and actually they can literally just be themselves, and anyone can be themselves, men, women, or anything, as long as you lead with kindness and you try and, I don't know, I guess make the world a better place. That's what I want to do. And that's the biggest thing, is that actually it gave us the launch pad to be able to reach so many more people, to help them with that. And that's what I'm super thankful for. This is actually a great question by Izzy Todd. What colour best represents the feeling of playing in the Rugby World Cup? Playing in the whole tournament, that's so tricky. I think like each game maybe had a colour. I would say potentially pink. This is a good question too, by Callie1603. How difficult is it to come back and play club rugby after? Well, I actually love Bristol Bears. I love the club, I love the people. So for me, I was really excited. It's great being in England and it's great being in club. They're two very different groups, I guess. Groups of people, atmosphere, it's different. Although it's still rugby, they're both very different. So for me, actually going back to Bears, I was so excited. I love the girls. I just really wanted to see them. And I also love the way that Bristol play, which is, again, different to England. It's all about like tacking and running lines. And again, that's where I thrive. I used to be a sevens player. That was my background. So running with the ball in hand, especially getting it in space, that's what lights me up. So I was so excited to get back into Bears. Although it probably was quite a tough turnaround, because we were in the World Cup, we won, we had a week of media, which again was really fun, a lot of cool stuff. Then we had a down week, and that's always when you get these like post-tournament blues. It's really common, especially in Olympians. They get it after the Olympics, and you've worked so hard for such a long period of time. You achieve what you set out to achieve, and afterwards you get this blues because you go from such a big high to kind of being back by yourself in the real world, and nothing's really changed, and acknowledging that realistically in everyday life nothing's really changed that much. So that's probably something that I don't think people maybe think about or see when they see Olympians or people who with the Euros, like those kind of post-tournament blues. They're very real and they're very different for each person. I was really lucky that I love my club, so having like that quiet time, that space to readjust, get used to the fact that you've won, but again nothing's changed too much, and then going back out into club, I was really excited to get out there and tear up. So love those guys. This is a question from Hayley X Bringcat. What is something that always leaves you speechless from the whole World Cup experience? This is something that I think was a really surreal moment for me. When I was on the pitch for the World Cup final, we had just scored to be in front. And I remember Rosie came onto the pitch and she was like, what's the comms? Is there anything we need to do? And I was like, just do exactly the same. We don't need to do anything else. And that was probably that moment when there wasn't too long left on the clock. There was still a fair chunk of time, but we were couple of points ahead, and I just remember being like, we just need to do exactly what we've been doing. I think we scored again, and then we were quite far in front, and I don't think the time was enough for them to catch us. And I think being on the pitch, knowing that you have potentially just won a World Cup that you've been trying to work for not just 3 years with COVID, but like I was in the 2017 World Cup, and then I was in the 2022 World Cup. You're like going like, third time lucky, like we can try and do this. So for me, that wasn't a really surreal feeling to be in a stadium on the pitch playing rugby with the thought that like, I don't think they can catch us. So then when the whistle went, I just couldn't believe it. Like I didn't know what to feel, because obviously you've been trying so hard for so many years and then you've achieved it. And then you just kind of take a step back, and there's a whole stadium of 80,000 people that we've never sold out before, all celebrating. You like looking around, you seen people crying. I looked at Zoe straight away, because we've been roommates since we were 18, 19 years old. And I just remember thinking, it's taken 8 years for this to come around. There is no words to describe that feeling. That is that World Cup experience that would leave me speechless. Again, really good question. Which team do you think deserve more recognition for their performance in the World Cup? Scotland. It was the first time they ever got to a quarterfinal in the World Cup. They had a great Six Nations leading up to it. They had been building so strong, and I just think, they actually reached a huge milestone, and that definitely needs to have a bit more recognition, needs to be celebrated, because yes, we won the World Cup, but actually so many other nations achieved so many things in that World Cup. Okay, this is a great question. I love these types of questions. Would you rather have had to play in the Rugby World Cup with your boots on the wrong feet or wearing woolly gloves? Me, boots on the wrong feet.
I'd go woolly gloves, because I think it would actually help my performance.
No way.
Because sometimes my hands get cold.
You drop the ball. Imagine if you were wet.
I wouldn't. It's a mind, body, soul connection to the ball. It's not about.
Okay. Also, sorry, this is Mackenzie Cousins. She is my partner.
I'm your friend.
on my brand and my brand. So she's also in England camp. She was also part of the World Cup. She scored 2 tries, did you?
Just one, I think. Just one. But if people
it was
think
a great
two,
try.
We can go with 2.
It was a great try. Plays for Gloucester Hartbury. So, and she's a loose head and I'm a tight head. So yeah, we do actually go head to head.
Ow.
So that was quite hard. So you're saying woolly gloves. Thank you, Grace Seaton. Sorry if I'm pronouncing the names wrong. Best moment with a player from an opposing team. For me, it was Ilona. I just love her. So when I saw her at the USA game, that was really fun. So nice to see her, especially after she's been at Bears. She was my favourite. Do you have another one?
Probably in the final, because we played against Canada. And a lot of my friends that I grew up playing with were playing or watching or just there. And it was just really cool because it felt very full circle for me because a lot of those girls have sacrificed a lot to be where they are. And it was really cool to face off against them in the final. But I was a bit scared because I left Canada to play for England. So I said, if England lose right now, it's going to be really embarrassing for me. But it worked out. So...
because Mack is actually Canadian. Mack is actually the only person who has played for another nation and then come over to England. So her mum is English, born in Plymouth.
Big up the South.
Big up the South. And then she was born in Canada, but she came over, played for Canada. She got a couple of injuries back to back. She kind of thought, I don't know if this is for me. She took a bit of a break, played in the PWR, and then England were like, hey, you want to come into our squad, you're qualified, it's been 3 years. And you kind of said, yeah, see how it goes. And then, yeah, you're still here now.
Yeah, I thought they'd send me packing after a week. No. It's been 3 years now, so.
Sorry, that's a side note. Okay, this question says, can you read that name?
Bay Kayak.
Cool, thanks. Playing all the overseas teams at the Rugby World Cup make you want to play overseas at some point? I would love to play in Australia because I just think the weather would be nice. Playing with Ruhe de Mont at Bristol, and definitely some of the other New Zealand girls who have come over, their views are very different, their culture is very different. And actually even Pam and Chloe, they're from Canada, who play at Bristol Bears, their culture is also different. So I think I would also like to experience just how different countries, different teams work and the culture around it. But I definitely think Australia would be fun because the weather's nice. I think their kit's kind of cool also.
Yeah. I would say New Zealand as well because I wanted to either go to England or New Zealand, and it just worked out that I moved to England. But yeah, my dream was always to actually play in New Zealand, and I also think I'd enjoy playing in France as well because it's just a bit of like jouet, different style, and yeah, I'd love to play somewhere else.
New microphone. This is a funny one. You want to have an attempt to say that?
Shana. It's a lot of S's, a lot of H's.
Did anyone else in the squad attempt to knee slide like the one Bots did? I don't know if it became like a pre-match ritual, but Hannah did do a knee slide every single day, it felt like.
Yeah, no, I like my knees the way they are, so I never attempted that.
I already had knee surgery 2 years ago. Yeah. I'm good for knee slides.
She did actually have knee surgery after the World Cup as well, so not to connect the two.
Yeah, maybe don't do the knee slides.
Yep.
I was like, right, if she can knee slide on the like kind of row of champagne, I could definitely slide on my tummy. And I still had my England shirt on, so when I went to slide, there's like sticky stuff on your shirt. It's like grip, so if you wipe your hands or something. And I kind of just slid and went, doom. It didn't really look as so cinematic. Yeah,
I'm glad I missed that because that would have given me the ick.
I definitely think I can get that out of the archives. Maybe we should never.
I think we should let that one
never do that.
Go to the grave. Oh, sorry. That was not safe. It didn't help.
Which opponent deserved the most respect and why? For me, it was the Samoan team because they didn't get paid for anything. They had to all figure out how to get their families looked after. But after the game, they were so ecstatic that they got 3 points. And they were like all dancing. And it kind of showed what rugby's all about, was like community and vibe. And I think like absolute hats off to them because they like chased their dreams. It was really difficult for them to get there and be a part of it. But they smashed it and looked like they loved every minute of it.
Yeah, it was quite beautiful actually. And they just were talking about how they're going back to their families and a lot of them have kids and stuff. And quite a few of our girls are now pregnant or have kids. And it was just quite an amazing clash of like full-time professional athletes and still that kind of like amateur era where you have to sacrifice a lot to follow your dreams. And it was really, really special.
I loved when they scored 3 points and everyone went mad.
Yeah,
like it was their first points of the tournament, but to see their coach and then also to watch it all back after, like the streams and stuff back after, it just got me really emotional. I thought it just meant so much.
This is kind of bad because our scrum coach was really unhappy because we didn't quite get the scrum right. They got a penalty, and in the scrum meeting he was like, oh, I'm so angry that I was like, it kept me up all night that this scrum didn't go our way. And he was like, are you guys upset? And I was kind of like, well, I kind of really like to see them like really celebrate. Like, I was like, I know it's bad and I really don't want to do that again, but it was also really cute to see how happy it made them to get some points. And I guess it comes back from like being like a savage rugby player and also being a person. And so I was happy for them, even though that wasn't probably great for us as a team. Is that a fair answer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this one says, how did you feel playing or being in the stadium with almost 82,000 people?
Well, I shed a singular tear on the walk in.
Just the
One singular.
Well,
one.
I really try to contain myself, if I'm
Mine
honest,
just
because
fell out. I hate
do
when that happens.
get overwhelmed in those situations.
That's so brave of you.
But it was literally incredible to see that amount of people. It was actually wild. I found a photo on my dad's Facebook the other day of him, my sister, his partner, my stepmom, with the crowd behind them. You know what I mean? They were in the stands, the crowd behind them. Huge.
Went on
mental.
forever.
I remember the South Stand, and I know that picture's gone like pretty viral, but like
so good.
everyone was peering over the balcony, and that was a really surreal feeling.
I actually want that photo in my room.
Yeah, I think I do too.
I also think it was like we had played in front of like 60 something there, and I think I couldn't even fathom that there was essentially like a whole nother stadium put on top of that, because there was another like 20,000 people.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So like that was crazy, and I just felt really emotional about it. It was just like so special and crazy. And like what I found crazy too is that like as we were doing like the warm up and walking around and stuff, like you could pick faces out, so like I could see my family.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy. Out of 82,000 people, I've been able to see my mum. Like that's wild to me.
That is crazy.
So yeah, it was just really special. Oh yes, Lily.
I saw my mum on the walk in and gave her a massive hug because she barged her way to the front of everyone.
As she should.
I was smiling. I really found it fun. I didn't see anything emotional.
I was smiling.
I was just really happy. Maudie goes to me, oh, I'm really nervous. I was like, why are you nervous, Maudie? You'll have them. And she was like, no, because of the crowd. And then I was like, oh, sorry. Like, because I think it was just like when we went.
It was overwhelmingly.
Yeah, when we went to sing the anthems, like, I don't know, I just felt this overwhelming feeling of being really proud that we had like achieved something so special. And that's kind of where the emotion came from, was like this excitement, and also just like kind of being in awe that we've managed to achieve something and like sell out the
and
whole
just like
stadium.
for women's sport as well, like regardless of the outcome, like that was crazy that we played in front of that.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Now we're going to do some quick fire questions. Would you rather fight a horse?
What? You read it
Right,
before
I
you
am. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
100 duck-sized horses.
I think I'd rather fight one big duck horse.
You could just kick them all if they were little.
I think
Ducks are quite vicious.
They're not. They're horses though.
Oh yeah,
but they're the size of a duck.
Sorry.
There's big flippers out there.
Okay, maybe 10, 100 things.
100 things. That wasn't an option, Lily.
100 horsey ducks. 100 horse ducks.
Horse ducks.
Would you rather always have wet socks or popcorn kernels stuck in your teeth?
Oh,
I don't know. That's so sad when that happens.
You'd get trench foot if you had wet socks all the time.
Wet socks. Can't deal with it.
But it's so sore when you have a
feet.
popcorn
I'd
kernel.
actually just rather dry feet.
I got unpopped popcorn kernels stuck up my nose when I was a kid, and that was pretty comfortable. So I'm gonna opt for that.
Wait, it's on your teeth. Not up your nose.
It's fine.
Well,
when you have something, you go see the nose, throat, ear doctor. So it's all the same channel.
I'm gonna go Cornwalls.
Cornwalls? I'm gonna go Cornwalls. Okay.
I'm gonna go to Cornwall. This is also a very good question by, I'm gonna say that's Abby, but with 88 in the middle. How do you get into the zone when you're getting subbed on from the bench? I do think that's a really interesting question, because when you start, you have to be switched on right from the go, right from the warm-up. You're locked in, ready to go. From the bench, we need to be switched on for the warm-up, but you know that there's going to be a period of time where you're sat down. You don't want to be too excited straight away, because by the time you get on, you might feel either overexcited or a bit burnt out. So for me, I definitely think when I was sat on the bench, like by half time, that's when I was like really allow myself to be like, okay, what are the key points that we're going for in this second half? What's the, scrum looking like? What's the objectives? And also like reminding myself what I'm really good at. What's your super strength? I think that's a huge thing. When you're on the bench, there's time for you to get anxious, especially in close games or big games where you can be like, oh, what if I come on and I mess that up? Or they have that little voice. We're actually sitting there going, no, I'm the best at this, or I'm really good at that, so I'm going to give this to the team when I come on, and raise the energy in the kind of tactics or the goals that we're going for in the second half. I find that really beneficial, and especially doing like the warm-ups and stuff. If I feel quick and I can get out the blocks, that's when I know I'm good to go. But do you have a difference?
Yeah, I feel like there's probably a misconception that when you're on the bench, it's maybe because you're not as good as somebody who starts. And I think, like, especially in the England squad, we have so many amazing players, and not everyone is good at coming off the bench. And it's actually quite a skill to be able to do that and to come into a game and make an impact and either change the momentum of the game, keep the game going, or fix things that have gone wrong. So I think there's actually quite a lot of pressure for people on the bench because you have to come on and kind of, do damage control or keep your foot on the pedal even though you've not been in the game. So yeah, for me, it's just about the fact that I'm a trusted person of the team and I have a really important job to do to see the game out. And yeah, especially as the front row, like, we're relieving those girls to come on and bring a fresh set of legs at scrum time and around the park. And so I just kind of like love that. And in some ways you have to think about it with the pressure being off, because you're like, well, I'm coming into this game potentially 60 minutes or however long has already happened, so I can really express myself and be me and do the best I can to contribute to the team. But yeah, it's a really important job, I think, to be on the bench.
I also find that we knew our role at England. Our job was to raise the tempo and pick the speed up. So it was never worded in a negative way. It was never like you're not good enough or whatever. It was all about your job is to come on, to pick the pace up, to, bring a different picture to the team. And that's also something that I think is really good, a good way to articulate that.
Yeah.
All your questions are really good. I can't pick 5, so I'm just going to enter everyone who asked a question into a draw. It will randomly pick 5 people and I'll announce the winners and we'll get the kits sent off to you. So congratulations if you are a winner. Thanks for writing in. We can do it again. So cheers. Link, like and subscribe. Sorry, I took this off because I realised that people might not be able to hear you. Oh no. Oh, get that out.
Sorry, I didn't actually mean to bite it.
Let me get the other microphone.
Sorry.
Be right back.
It stayed in my mouth.